Okay, folks, good morning. It's Saturday morning. I pulled some stuff out here and I want to go over this a little bit. Um, Everybody's talking about, economic collapse, yada, 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 right? Societal collapse. But in reality, you need to have something in case of floods, in case of a hurricane, power outages, things of this nature. Now, I'm going to go over some of the different companies that I shop, ones that I recommend, and of course, some of them, that are very large in the industry. So, one of my favorite, actually, there's two companies that I absolutely love when I go camping, and that is Backpacker's Pantry and Peak 2. Now, each one of these meals, this is a single meal, by the way. It's a single meal. It has 2 servings in each pouch. But it is basically a single meal. And you're going to pay about $15 a piece for these. The reason for that is because they are very high quality. I really like them. I like them for 2 different reasons. Number one is they have a high content of protein per pouch. And number two is they have a high calorie content. So that's 2 of the things you want to look at when you're buying individual meals. You want to look at what is the protein content, what is the calorie content, how large is the serving, because I don't know about you, but these people must think that we're really thin, because sometimes these servings are like spoonfuls, right? So I have found that these two, whenever I go camping and hiking, I get these. And these are available on Amazon. Now, one of the other things I always take with me is I absolutely love the Mountain House ice cream sandwiches. It tastes just like ice cream, and if you want a snack while you're out hiking, this is great. Now, I also have stuff from Harvest Right, which is the freeze dryer company. You can actually buy your own freeze dryer from them, and they have sample packs, and I like some of their sample packs. This one is ham and scalloped potatoes. Since I don't eat pork, this one has just been sitting in my pantry probably for 6 years, because I don't eat pork. But you can, I think that buying individual meals can get rather expensive. Like I said, they're about $15 a piece. Some of the other things you can do is you can buy the number 10 cans. Now, know this, when you open this can, you have to use everything in this can within a certain amount of time. Depends on the company, how long they say. But sometimes a number 10 can, if you are a single individual, is a bad choice, right? Because you're not going to use it all up before it goes bad. So for a group, number 10 cans are the way to go. You can pick out whatever you want, and you can make very large servings for everybody. Augustin Farms, I have a lot of Augustin Farms because they are really good, and they're relatively cheap for the amount of food that you get. I also have a lot of Nutrient Survival, right? And the reason I got Nutrient Survival is because they add vitamins in to their meals. So number 10 cans, good way to go if you have a group. Not so well if you are backpacking and, or it's just you. I have a lot of Food 4 Patriots, right? So 4 Patriots. I've got a lot of their 72-hour kits. This I have found. I have used these. This I have found, especially if during hurricane season, these packs are the way to go because they're easy to heat up. You can heat them up over a fire. Just add water, boil, boom, gone, done. Right? But you want to look at what's in the pack. So there's not a lot of protein, and there's a lot of potatoes and rice, right? But they are a good choice. I actually just ordered a 3-month kit because it offered extra 4-week kit free with it. So I got 4 months for the price of 3. And when I talking kits, I'm talking these big Mama Jamas right here. Now these kits have got so many servings in them. Some of them are 96 servings, some of them are 106, some of them are 126. It just depends on the company. And these kits are great for in your bunker or in your group supply, because you can stack these things to the rafters, right? And they are stackable. You can stack them on top of each other, and they are stackable. This one is from Wise Company, which I don't know if they're still in business or not, but what I do is when I buy these kits, I write the date, the year that I bought the kit. That way I know, okay, that year has to be used up. On this one, it has to be used up by 2037, right? Because it has a 25-year shelf life. I bought it in 2012, 2037. Now, there are several new companies out on the market. I would recommend you go check them out. One of them is Simply Clean Foods. They have a 30-day vegetable medley pack, which is fairly comprehensive, and it is fairly inexpensive for 30-day supply. By that I mean, yes, you're going to spend about $160 for it. With shipping, it's going to come out to about $175. But when you look at the content of the foods, that's what's in it. There is no extra anything, right? That's what's in it. So if you're driving a truck, it's good to have some of these meals on the truck, and a way to cook it. Like, I have my lunchbox cooker. I've got several of them. And you can cook stuff right in you plug it right in the cigarette lighter and you can cook stuff. But these meals are good to have, especially if you get stuck out somewhere where you are stuck for 34 hours doing a reset away from a truck stop. This happens. So these are good to have some of them on the truck. They are very lightweight. They're easy to pack. And, you know, if you have 3 or 4 of them, you're good to go if you have to do a 34 somewhere out in the boonies, right? Especially if you're out somewhere where you get stuck in a blizzard, you want something hot to eat, and sometimes you'll be sitting on the side of the highway for 2 days, right? And it's good to have something hot to eat on the truck. I cannot tell you what to do for you. All I can tell you is that I would recommend, especially with the way things are going around the world, with volcanoes going off, earthquakes going off, floods going here and there, strange weather patterns that we're having all over the place. I would recommend that you have at least a month's supply of food. Normally, I would say 3 days. But with the way things are going, especially if you look at what's happening in Gaza, especially if you look at what's happening in Ukraine, you never know when something will pop off. And you need to be prepared, to weather that storm, whether it be weather or war or civil unrest. You need to be prepared for that. And this was not the video I wanted to make today. The video I wanted to make today was doing the rafters on my awning. But some of the information which I have received caused me to make this video. I don't know if you know, but in the trucking industry this year, we have seen over 100 companies go under. That means all those drivers are out of work. That means all those drivers have got to find somebody else to drive for. That means a disruption in their pay. That means a disruption in being able to pay bills, right? So we've seen that. Over the last 6 months, we've seen several companies that have been in business over 50 years go out of business. We've seen little mom and pop truck stops go out of business. That is continuing. And this year, agriculturally, we are having a very bad year. So agriculturally, because of the weather, a lot of things are either getting flooded out or not enough rain. And I do not foresee a very good harvest this year. As you all know, the amount of beef on the hoof in the United States, because that's where I live, is in the United States, is about 25% of what is needed for the country. So knowing that to grow a steer up to go to butcher takes 18 months, I want that, what I just said, to sink into you. We're looking at possibly within the next couple of months, a shortage of everything. Now, for those who have money, it's not a big deal. For people like you and me, who live pretty much paycheck to paycheck, this is a big deal. This is a very big deal. And I just wanted to get this warning out that I am in the trucking industry. I am seeing companies fight over freight. And I am seeing owner operators taking loads that are in the negative. So they're taking loads that are not paying enough for the fuel to drive the load. So they're in the negative on the load because they just need something coming in. So this is not one area. This is all across the United States. It's not just one company. It's all across the United States. I would really, really recommend, whether you do canned foods, whether you do freeze-dried foods. I say freeze-dried foods because you can buy them and they can sit on your shelf for 25 years. And if nothing happens, you have it on your shelf in case, in case of an emergency. I like the freeze-dried foods, but reality is you have dehydrated foods. These are foods that you cannot freeze dry that are good for 3 to 5 years. You have your own home canned foods, which are also good 3 to 5 years, depending on what's in them. You have freeze-dried foods. You have regular canned foods, which are good for about 1.5 years after the expiration date. Understand? The expiration date has to be put there by the FDA. They require expiration date on your foods. A lot of times those foods are good way past the expiration date. It's just that the nutrient level in that food will dissipate as it gets older, and you have to watch out for dented cans and, signs that there could be botulism in the can. But, like I said, some of the information that I got this week is very disturbing. Very disturbing. We've all been watching the huge earthquake that happened off the coast of Russia, followed by their volcano going off. Now, I'm sorry, I can't say that volcano name, but you can look it up. Okay? The Ring of Fire is active. In a normal year, for those who don't know, in a normal year, we have about 46 volcanoes going off on a fairly daily basis. We are currently at 84 going off. I want that to sink in. That means there's more ash, more particulate up in the atmosphere, and that means that we're having more severe weather. Massive earthquakes are going on left and right. I don't expect that to change. And everybody is at everybody's throats right now, it seems, worldwide. Right? You've got Russia against Ukraine, you got China against Taiwan, which China claims Taiwan is their territory. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, I don't know. You got Israel being attacked by 7 fronts, right? You got all the tariffs going on. I mean, it's just a nightmare, right? You get into this and you're like, it's a nightmare. And then you look at you start looking at the food supplies. Right down in South America, coffee. Last year, coffee had a fairly poor harvest last year. They're looking at the same thing this year. So coffee is going to be hard to come by, right? Plus you add in tariffs, you add in all this other stuff going on. Yeah, price of things are going to go up. It's not going to go down. It's going to go up. You know that you can't get away from the government in your pocket, right? The tax man cometh, and you're going to pay that tax one way or the other, right? You can't get away from it. My thing is, don't go crazy with everything that's going on. Don't get distracted from protecting you and yours, and just take steps to weather whatever comes, right? And one of those steps is, do you have enough freeze-dried food, dehydrated food, canned food, home canned food, food on the hoof, so to speak, or food in the ground, so to speak, that can weather you to next harvest? That's old wisdom coming at you, folks. This is how our ancestors got through the Great Depression. Is they saw what was coming and they prepared to weather the storm. So you need to be prepared to weather the storm. Now, as always, it all depends on your finances, what and how much you can get. For those of you who are like me, who work paycheck to paycheck, maybe once a month you can buy one thing. Maybe when you go to the grocery store, like Appalachian Homestead with Patera has said repeatedly, buy 5 extra cans every time you go to the store. Just buy 5 extra cans, put it on your shelf, rotate them, right? I cannot reiterate this enough. The trucking industry right now is stressed. And that's a easy term to use, but the implications are very bad. Okay, I can't tell you how many drivers are sitting waiting on loads for days. And for those of you who don't know, as a driver, if you're sitting, you're not getting paid. 99% of the time, you are not getting paid while you sit waiting on a load. The only time you get paid is when your wheels are turning. Add into that all the fees, fines, and stealing. I call it stealing, legal stealing, but it's still stealing going on in the trucking industry right now. There's going to be lapses in freight coming to stores. Now, do I think society is going to collapse? No. Do I think the shelves are going to go completely empty? No. I think, though, that you're going to see, and you have seen, where some of your favorite items are sold out. And if there's something that you need to have for either medical or your own mental issues, whether it be medications or certain foods, you need to stock those now. And I say you need 30 days. I used to say get 3 days just to be on the safe side, but With the way things are going, I'm going to have to say you're going to need 30 days. You're going to need 30 days. Anyway, I hope this finds you well. And I'm going to let y'all go. Uh, Hopefully, I'll be able to work on the awning today. Doesn't look like it. It looks like it's going to rain its butt off again. But, yeah, that's what's going on here. Bicycle.